I really should get a better chair. And I should face the camera and not side saddle it. There we go. So, something I've been playing around with looking at lately is, maybe it'll just pop up a window over on the side here so I can look at it while I do this. The thought of some of the projects that we did in 2019, and I guess we tried some things in 2020, didn't get very far, I don't think. Some of the ideas that we had in 2019 have options that I would like to create and release. So let's see. What do we got? So, so looking at Teespring a little while ago for some of the things I wanted to try to do, I got a surprise because it looks like they're offering not just their clothing options, although I'm curious to see. I'm trying to find out now. Let's try shop. So right now the shop offers recommendations because I'm not signed into a particular account. Creators, leggings, t-shirts. It doesn't have an easy drop in for that's so weird. Okay, so let's take a look at creators on YouTube. Our YouTube creators on here. Integration, storefront, products. Okay, so what I was looking at the other day, and it's not giving me the result I'm looking for now. So it looks like it's harder to find by going to the Teespring site. But what I found was they have included some options now that open up some possibilities. Oh, for pity's sake, no. Okay, you're just going to pick a fight about it. Whoa. Shush. I don't know if you heard that, but I somehow accidentally launched another web page. That's not what we were looking for. So Teespring has two things that are exciting for me. One of them is some new categories of content, digital content. So they have apparel, home, accessories, and now digital content that you can sell. And that digital content, for the most part, is listed as you can do audio files, digital planner, digital poster, digital wallpaper, documents, ebooks, e-comics, image files, photo filters. And what I'm thinking is audio files could be some of those choose your own adventure style game designs that I want to do. Digital planner is very similar. I haven't explored it too heavily, but the digital planner might be an option for doing my bullet journal style daily planner. But if it's not, I could always do some image files that you can print out at home, which brings me to the idea of possibly using image files as a way of sort of doing print and play board games. So the idea of using Teespring to do print and play board games, so like the Cyberpunk game that I did in 2019, Access Granted. That one I could do as some image files that you could purchase, print, and play those games. Now, That gets around some of the exorbitant cost of ordering from another company. I might have to include some basic instructions on how to make a more substantial game. So you could take a regular printer sheet and a cardboard box, cut out the shapes in cardboard box with some templates that I include, and then with a glue stick, stick the board pieces to it and make a more substantial board to play games with. That's an option potentially going forward here, selling those plans, not just releasing them for free. Now, ebooks could be books like short stories like The Goblin's Daughter or other things like that. E-comics, that could be fun just to play with and find a use for. Digital wallpaper could be something I could do with some of my artworks. Simple documents might be any number of things. So posters could be artworks. Digital posters, I guess, is a digital format, not a print format, but image files could be a poster as well. They have something also called photo filters. I don't know what to do with that, but I kind of want to play with it. But here's one of the things that is interesting for me. If I do some of my card games, like the Captain Rita Raygun's Thrilling Interplanetary Adventure card game, I can make those image files that you can print out on cardstock and make a deck of cards to play the game with. And I can make a more robust and complete game version that you can order from Game Crafters, I believe. But that would be a fairly straightforward way to do it. But one of the things I'm trying to do, and it's always sort of been on my mind as the thing to do when I figure out how to release the games, is with the video game that we were talking about before in 2019 of Cuddle Pop and Liquid Metal Rage. With the game Cuddle Pop, I wanted to talk about the possibility. I think I did a video, one of my vlogs of that time, with the idea of the possibility of some, like 75 to 80% of the profits going to save the ocean, clean the ocean, save coral reefs, that kind of thing. I would love to do that kind of thing. It's harder to do with Game Crafter, I think. So if I were to make a card game or a board game, I can get them produced and have a shop in Game Crafters where I can sell them. There's some workarounds you can do to get it so that some of the proceeds go to another company, like a nonprofit or a charity. But you have to include them as a maker or a producer of the game, and that's harder to do. Whereas what I'm thinking with the Teespring, I do believe you can get a Teespring account without a YouTube account. Yeah. So teespring.com. You can go in there and sign up. I think you don't have to have a YouTube account. I don't think I have mine linked to my YouTube account. I'm not sure. But the digital product capabilities, I think for this, offer the ability to do print and play games, potentially audio games, ebooks, e-comics, image files and posters and digital wallpaper, and even potentially the digital planner as options. So they've got a lot of things I could potentially use. And I may have to, while we're on here tonight, hop into one of them and see what capabilities it has. But the thing that Teespring offers, and it was hard to find, but I did find going through some of their information files, was how to donate profits to charity. Over the course of Teespring's history, sellers have donated over $4 billion, no, $4 million to fundraisers, relief efforts, charities, and movements worldwide. A community of creators possesses a unique talent in that they can turn good ideas into powerful businesses and brands, and many have chosen to share some of the fruits of their labor back to the causes close to their hearts. So, there looks to be a way they have incorporated means of donating profits from some of the profits or all of the profits from some of their Teespring purchase items to charities. And it's not quite clear what the threshold for some of those qualifiers are. So, like looking at the information here, please note that Teespring simply facilitates the processing of the donated profits to the intended charitable organization. As such, Teespring is required by the United States Internal Revenue Service to report donated profits on the creator's annual Form 1099. So I don't know what that means, if it counts as profits I made that year and then it counts as donations, or if it counts as just donations. But I'm curious about it. I'm curious enough to try it. But any listing that donates a portion of the profits will feature a verified contribution button. The badge reassures buyers their purchase will benefit the indicated charity. Conversion rates for verified listings are 45% higher than non-verified fundraising listings. Okay, so it looks like there's a process to get approved to do it, but it would be totally worth it, I think, at a certain point. And I would have to, I want to talk with them and maybe get a little more feedback on what the, Teespring, what the methodology behind that is. But looking at their digital product options makes me very hopeful that going forward, this is something I could do. Like, I have a game that I created years ago that is a food-based game. And if I wanted to do something like donate 75% of the profits towards food scarcity or sustainable farming options, I could release a version of it as an image file you can download, print, and make your own deck of cards to play this game with, and set the price at like $1 to $5 and make it so that a certain percentage of the profits, like 80% of the profits, go to those charities. I would totally do that for as many of my games as possible. Now, whether or not I have the option of going through game crafters for the better version of those games, because printing out on cardstock and playing those games on cardstock, you would get the digital file, the image file that you could print over and over again, yes. But they're going to wear out. They're not going to be high quality cards. So I think like that trade-off of like low cost, but the ability to print whenever you want to play, like it makes it easier to gift to family. And that's one of the things I was thinking of potentially doing, was with some of my games, it doesn't matter if two people playing have two decks or if you're both sharing the same deck. And part of what I think makes that a potentially useful way to play is if you're playing over Skype or some of the other digital conferencing services, if you can print out a deck and then purchase for $1 to $3 another deck and gift it to a family member that can print it out at home and then cut out the cards themselves, and then you play over a conference call, that's an option for some people who don't necessarily use some of the digital tabletop gameplay stuff. So you each have a deck and you each draw from your deck, and that's one of the options for play. I feel like I'm excited about this opportunity. So one of the things I may be overly excited about this opportunity. I don't know quite what the limits are. So let's pull up image design, image file. Okay, upload the file your buyers will download after purchase. Okay, so got more than one file? Upload a compressed folder instead. Maximum file size 1 GB. All right. Popular file types. Compressed files, images, so JPEG, but not JPG. PNG, GIF, ICO. Documents, so PDFs are a possibility. Photo filters, audio, so that's just that's digital file types. That's all right. Add images to show your buyer what the product is. So that would be like showing what the printed and cut out cards would be like. Name of your product. URL. Okay. So it would have like a URL specific for what you're making. Product description, visibility, publicly visible to everyone. Add this product to an existing store. I do have an existing store. Who made this content? Me. Price. US dollars. You can price it at $0. It looks like you might be able to price it at $0. That's interesting. So you could do some free download stuff. Let's just upload a random image and see what we can get out of it. That's a weird pop-up for that. Yeah, sure. Let's just do a picture of the guava that I taste tested the other day. Okay, so the file uploaded, but I don't see any means of tinkering with it once you've uploaded it. Price set. No profit if it's, so there is I'm upping it 1 cent at a time until it tells me it's making a profit. Oh, nope. Okay, I thought I had it for a second, but I just was double clicking too fast. Okay, let's do 50 cents. Okay, 50 cents says 6 cents profit per sale. So if I wanted to make 1 cent profit, okay, 0 profits at 44 cents. So 45 cents gets me 1 cent profit off of a digital image sale. So it looks like Teespring's going to get a 45-cent cut no matter what. Let's see if we do a $3. Oh, nope, not $30. $3 would be $2.37 profit. what does $5 look like? $5 would be $4.22 per 2 cents profit. And so if we were to do that, I'm looking for where would we hit the sweet spot for like a $5 profit. So $5 profit looks like it's going to be in the 580s. $5 profit would be $5.84. Total cost to the buyer would be a $5 profit for me. Now, if we did that and we donated, what, 80% of profits would be an even, the place that gets the donation would get $4 and I would get $1 for every sale. That's sort of what I'm thinking about right there. And I do think that's a potentially viable option for, and it looks like you could do pretty much any image. Any image file that you can create, you can do. E-comic. So again, it's an upload a file. So this is something you pre-format before you bring it to them. But once you make it, it's possible for them to release it. So what does the digital planner look like? I don't know. Like, I don't understand the digital planner. That one's harder to grasp. So I'm going to have to do a little research on some of that. But, like, okay. Photo filters. Sell downloadable photo filters that can be applied in photo editing apps like Lightroom. That could be fun to play around with making, I don't know. I was going to say, you might be able to use it as a means of making maps on phones for gameplay. Photo editing apps. So filters for photo editing. I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't know what I would do with a filter. Wallpapers. Ebooks and e-comics. That could be a way to do like blueprint designs for roving jack projects. Printable posters. Whoa. Use your most effective images to sell printable posters. These can be used to style homes, offices. So what they've done in here is digital posters. I don't know that they said printable posters. Let's have a look-see at that. I was thinking when they were saying that, they were talking about I was thinking they were talking about like posters for your phone backdrop or something like that. And for digital posters, it looks like, again, the 46 cents roughly is the cutoff point for where you make a cent profit. Digital planners. Like the audio files could be those podcasts. Like a purchasable podcast where you can buy the podcast from Teespring. Or songs. How big a file can we do? If I do that album for one of my projects this year, the 7 songs, 31-minute total time. If I build that as can I do multiple files? Possibly. It looks like a folder is an option. Audio file, MP3, M4A, OGG, and WAV files. So I could upload. Looks like there's a possibility of doing video. Video for sale? That's weird. I don't know how to handle that. That would be so interesting. I'm very curious to see what I can make happen here. I need to get more information because, I don't know what the limitations of some of this are because they're not really spelled out well. On the site, I'm super curious. I'm super curious about this right now. Because, regular posters, posters, t-shirts, and that kind of stuff, that's easy enough to do, that they'll print it and send it to the people. That's one thing. What I'm super, super curious about is what are the limits of these digital products? And what are the limits of these digital products, and how can we push them? How can we really well and truly push them further? I feel like this is a ripe playground for playing in, and I want to see what kinds of interesting things I can do with it. So the digital planner files, like I said, might be a way to have on your phone some of my artistic planner designs, my bullet journal designs. It's possible. Now, videos to sell, I feel like you might be able to get away with just creating videos for Skillshare and Udemy. So Udemy is one I've actually bought several classes for. I've considered doing some instructional videos for Udemy, and I built a list at one point of options for things I could produce for them. I feel like I want to upgrade my skill at cinematography to make a better quality video of some of those projects before I commit to trying to sell classes on those types of services. But I'm very curious to see to what degree we can push the edges of these digital goods on Teespring. Because one of the things I believe, once you get to a certain level of success on YouTube, is you can start listing your Teespring products on a shelf underneath of your descriptor. So I want to see, hang on, I want to pop over to, where are we? Nope. I'm hesitant to click on some of these tabs I've got open in the background because I'm afraid they're going to pop open something I don't want popped open. Yep, like that, right there. That was what I was talking about. Now, do they have a Teespring shelf? Okay, so I do think, yeah, one of the sites I'm looking at right now is a game discussion site for tabletop role playing, and he's got a shelf underneath of it where he has basically the name of the video, the hashtags on top of it, views, date of upload, then his channel icon, the name of his channel, how many subscribers he has, and then the inbox description of what he's talking about. And then right underneath of that is a bar, which I guess they call the Teespring shelf, where he has a t-shirt, a coffee mug, 2 coffee mugs, 2 hats, And then there's a little tab that lets you slide it to the next frame to see more of his merchandise. And I'm curious, let me see if I can pop this one open here and see what it takes me to, because it looks like it's not a traditional t-shirt or something. What is this? This is a poster. Okay, so I was thinking potentially that what we had here was somebody who was using the digital goods option, but that is not what that is. That was a poster. I was a little hopeful there, because I'd like to see somebody who's using, and I may just have to contact Teespring and chat with them about the opportunities, because I did talk with one of their people in 2019, summer of 2019, when I went to the VidCon that year. And I talked with them about some of the other things, because like they've got t-shirts and hoodies and leggings and sports bras and things like that. They've got some hats, some mugs, and some home decor like posters and wall clocks and stuff like that. But I said, I don't wear a lot of t-shirts very often. I wear button-down shirts, like flannel shirts, or less lately, but I used to wear, partly because my job won't let me do it, but I used to wear vests. And there was a part of me like, if you could find a home washable, non-dry clean only vest, and you could print all sorts of stuff on the backs of them, I would book those up into the Teespring website left and right. And they said to me, we have some options that we're starting to apply that allow you, if you can find a vendor for something that we don't have, we can print onto those things. So they were basically telling me, if I wanted to do a vest, I could find a vendor for cotton vests that you can wash at home, and they would be able to print onto those. And I'm like, that sounds like a really cool option. And they also offered for a little while, I don't know if they still do, the ability to custom find a producer of things like toys, plush toys, stuffed animals. And if you could do that, they would provide the opportunity for you to make them as merchandise in your shelf. So what is it? Lucas the Spider became very popular, and they found somebody who would produce limited runs of plush animals around that Lucas the Spider character. And so they sold through their Teespring merch shelf, plush stuffed animal spiders. And so they had some options that were worth looking into. I didn't have a need for the stuffed animals, and I wasn't like, I don't have enough of a thing going on for making merch about t-shirts or vests even. But these digital good opportunities may be more valuable than I give like some of the other options they've had so far, because they may be the right choice for doing game reviews. When I do board game reviews, having a shelf of my own games produced for print and play games underneath that video would be an amazing opportunity to get my games out there. And so there's a part of me is like, yeah, that's definitely a good option. But even better than that, for my mind, is the idea that what they're offering me the chance to do with my merch is the possibility of donating portions of the profits from those projects, those games that I sell, to charity organizations. And I feel like that's a win-win for my goals with my game creation. And I have to look into a little bit of the details about some of how that all works, because like I do kind of need to know how much of that income counts as income that I've made in that year versus, income I've made but that I've donated versus not counting as my personal income. That's something I have to research and find the data for before I commit to doing some of those things. But I feel like even in the long run, I'd like that to happen anyway. So I got to figure out how that works. And it's hard to figure out who I need to talk to make that make more sense to me, because I'm not a tax person. I may have to get a hold of an accountant and get a sense of how best to do that. And potentially what some of that means is I may have to incorporate under an LLC and list those profits that come in as the profits of the LLC, and then the donations deducted from the LLC's profits, and keep my personal income separate. I don't know. I don't know what makes the most sense and what I'm actually capable of doing right now with what I've got going. And that's the hard part, is restraining that enthusiasm long enough to learn the ins and outs of this. Digital Planner says interactive planners, to-do lists, and calendars that can be used as a variety of devices and app on a globally used and recognized product, compatible with apps like GoodNotes and Notability. Buyers can use in-app or print out. See, that's exactly what I need for my bullet journal planning design patterns. And I need, it tells me, it says compatible with apps like GoodNotes and Notability. And file format looks like it's supposedly a zip or a PDF. Coloring books. We can do coloring books? Oh lordy, I can see a big potential to play with that. Virtual backgrounds. Oh, so I could make purchasable backgrounds that you can use on Chroma Key. That would be fun to play around with that. Printable posters, ebooks and comics. Downloadable guides. Huh. I'm curious about that. Wallpapers, photo filters. Actually, if we did the photography project, well, I don't know what they're using to mean photo filters. If it's just like a lighting and settings effect for selfies and like phone photography, that's one thing. And I don't know that I have a lot of capability or interest in worrying about that too much. But if it's things that we can apply to video, like lower thirds or stuff like that, if you're going to record an interview with somebody and you want to be able to put their name in the lower portion of it in your editing software, have them pop out features that just swing out and give you a lower third, that might be an option. Okay, so digital products are any type of product that can be downloadable as a file online. This includes ebooks, wallpapers, photo filters, game skins, digital planners, and more. I kind of want to hit the learn more button, but let's see what all else they have in here. Yeah, the digital planners option is definitely something I want to play with. Learn more. What do we got here? Your guide to digital products. So this, no, don't, please get out of the way. I'm trying to learn something here. How to sell digital products. Navigate the digital launcher. Follow these steps, choose your category. Showcase your digital creations. Quick tips for starting from scratch. Test the waters. So I'm going to do a little more research into it, but I really feel like based off of the opportunities available, this would be a fun playground to dabble in. Now, I have thought about the possibility of doing some commercials for some of my games. My food-based game would be fun to do, like a commercial of me prepping the foods for the game and making them maybe either ads on YouTube or posting to Reddit and the game creation communities about it. Maybe pay for a Facebook ad or a Google ad. But it's like figuring out where the right turnaround on the possibilities for that are. Now, I have also debated in my head whether or not I should make a digital version of the games that I've created. So like the card games that I've made, I've debated whether or not it's possible to make like a tabletop simulator or a Roll20 function that lets you play those games online. I don't know if you're able to sell add-ons for those services that add gameplay features. Because like Roll20 has the ability to make a custom deck. I don't know if I'm able to sell my custom deck to other Roll20 users. And at the same time, I'm not sure that I haven't played with or explored Tabletop Simulator yet. And I don't know what the limitations on our ability to create custom gameplay and how to sell them and where you would sell them. I don't know if that's something that Teespring would let me sell apps through their digital goods function. So if I created an app, could I sell it through Teespring? I don't know. It looks like the digital goods option may allow me. I mean, it says right here, audio files. And it sounds like you can compile a folder with more than one file in it as part of the digital goods sold. So it's possible I could do a 7-song album for sale through Teespring. I think at this point, like most of the things I would do for projects may have a digital form of good that I could sell them as. So I could do images, so I could take pictures of paintings that I do and sell them as digital goods. I could do blueprints for projects that I tinker on. I should be able to do comics. I don't like, the implication was that they take video file formats. So I'm not certain, but the possibility of being able to do animations on there may be there. I could do comics. It looks like I could probably do the interactive audio games that I've talked about in the past. And I'm very curious to see how that layout works. Because if I can sell audio files, I have to figure out, okay, so audio files, start designing. Let's take a look. It says audio files. So compressed files, documents, images, photo filters, audio, MP3, M4A, OGG, and WAV. Now, I got to figure out what functions I mean, I think in the long run, the place that most of that's going to come into play is either in a laptop, desktop, Windows style computer, or on a mobile device like this. Now, I got to figure out what players will play these files that are most commonly used, and whether or not they use some of those features that we've talked about before when building audio games, where, like, if you were playing the game and you were skip to this section, are there ways to target where they're going to skip to? Like YouTube used to have annotations. If it's possible to set in annotations into any of these players that exist out there, I would totally do that. That would be so much fun to do playable audio adventures. That would be amazing. I would have a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, that would be cool. I want that to work. I want that to work out right. But that's audio files. Potentially, if we could do video files, we might be able to do animations. Digital planner designs, posters, wallpaper for artwork. Documents is a little vague. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I do like the idea of the coloring books, the virtual backgrounds, and the planners especially are some of the unique formats of things I could create and play with. I still don't know what I would do with the photo filters. See, the layout they have here for what to design is audio file, digital planner, digital poster, digital wallpaper, document, ebook, e-comic, image file, photo filter, and then there's the last one that says digital product and has non-specified other things. But it looks like it's not just an overarching category for all the rest. It may be for some of those other things like backgrounds, coloring books, and video files. I'm super curious about these possibilities. So I may have to reach out and contact them and see if I can get some information about the taxation process of donations, whether that counts as my income that I'm just getting rid of, or if it counts as the buyer is making a donation to the company service or whatever. Because one of those is, one of those will bump me into a different tax bracket and thus make my taxes higher and cost me to do. And one of those would be no cost to me and benefit the organizations that I'm trying to support. The more I think about it, it's probably the first, which is heartbreaking because it makes it harder to do what I want to do with that. Because if it's going to cost me, like if I sell 1,000 games for $5 each, I make $5,000 in that course of whatever time frame we're looking at, probably the year. So if I make $5,000 extra profit on the side from these projects off of what I make at my job or whatever, it bumps me into a different tax bracket. I pay the taxes on my regular job income plus $5,000. But I don't get that whole $5,000 because it goes to another location. It goes to the charity that I've donated to. If that's the case, then it becomes harder for me to make it through a year because it costs me to make those donations. But if it counts as a donation that goes through separately from myself, and I feel like I need to get a hold of a financial advisor and just get a feel for how much of that makes sense and what I can do with it. Because I don't imagine that what I'll make from game sales will be enough to quit my day job. And if I'm not doing that exclusively, like selling games and whatnot, then having it cost me to do it doesn't make as much sense. But I want to see what my options are. I want to explore, and I'm not even sure setting up an LLC to shell that separate from my personal finances is an option. I don't know if being the owner of an LLC or the head of an LLC shields my personal taxes and financial information from the consequences of the income made from those games. I have to frickin' find out, and it's going to take a lot of phone calls and a lot of dealing with some financial advisors to really figure that out. But the opportunity is there. It's offered by this service on Teespring that I'm super kind of excited. I mean, I could design t-shirts, and we did some designs for t-shirts, socks, and a few other things last year. No, the year before last year. That we could do products. We could do custom pins and keychains, and we could do basic products like those pretty easily. Digital products being able to offer additional options sort of excites me. So we've got apparel. What are we offering for apparel these days? T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, socks. That looks leggings, sports bras. That's most of the apparel. Home, anything new? We got pillows, poster, canvas. So you can get a canvas print of some of my artworks. TikTok, wall tapestries, beach towels, fleece blankets, shower curtains, and comforters. Accessories, phone case, tote bag, stickers, mugs. So stickers could be a fun place to play around with some stuff. Phone cases, drawstring bags, cinch sacks, hats of varying kind, duffel bags, backpacks, stickers, custom pins, custom PVC keychains, fanny packs, patches. That's interesting. Accessory pouches, cloth face masks. So, I mean, we could do some of those products, but I think the versatility of the digital product space makes a place to tap into some unique and new explorable options, and I'm sort of jazzed about that. We're almost at an hour of me rambling excitedly about the digital options on Teespring, so I think I'm going to call it here. Today is Tuesday. It's going to be an interesting week. I got a couple long shifts, and we're having people come in and do spray and insulation on Thursday morning, really, really early, which I'm not excited about. I'm trying to prep things with the idea in mind that there is a chance that they will break something and I will be without internet or power for a couple days until it gets figured out. I'm trying to prep in case that goes wrong. I can't make any promises or guarantees, but I'm trying to plan it out so that that doesn't come as a surprise if it happens. But for now, I think I should call it a night, and I will catch you on Thursday, I think. Thursday night, if all things are working. Until then, take care and good night. Interesting things to maybe play with in the future.